a beautiful gem of a song from Gillian Welch, and with the unmistakable and equally beautiful contribution from David Rawlings on his second guitar, with his filling in little elements, never quite taking centre ground, but it really wouldn't be the same without all that. It's essentially quite a simple song. The recorded version is in E flat, and she plays it as if in C with a capo on the 3rd fret. I've seen her do this live with a capo on the 4th fret, so that would be in E, but I'm going for the recorded version, or at least I'm going to match the recorded version with a capo on the 3rd fret here and playing as if in C. There's quite a lot of C in this song, and we've got 3 beats in the bar. Essentially, we've got 2 verses, that's all. It just goes round and round twice, and the second time there's an extended ending with a coda, a little tail tacked on the end. And we've got a 4-bar intro of G7. And before we do anything else, let's just look at that G7. That might be the standard way, but that's kind of bright. We've got the capo up on the 3rd fret, and that F there, that distinguishes the G7 from a G chord. That's already high. That's kind of concert G sharp. That's quite high. And to create something a bit mellower, she's actually putting it here. She's got a little finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Now I'm going to keep my first finger up here on the 1st fret of the top string just to be safe, but I might not even strum that. I'm really aiming for that sound there. Okay, so whenever we've got G7, we've got that. In terms of the strumming, boom, ching, ching, boom, ching. So I'm just picking, this is a C chord now, the 5th string with my thumb, and then strumming twice down. A 1, 2, 3, 1, like a country waltz, which is really what it is. For G7, obviously, that's the 6th string. And it might be worth just kind of going through this, looking at where the bass note should be, where you're going to pick. Anyway, after our 4 bars of G7, which is this, we get a bunch of C and G. We get 6 bars of C. I wanna go all over the world, start living free, and 2 bars of G7. Now, I'll come back to that in a second, but the next bit is the same in reverse, if you like. Now it's 6 bars of G7 and 2 bars of C. But actually there are some details here that we need to catch. Apart from anything else, we've got some alternating bass on the C. So I'm moving, for a C chord, my 3rd finger from the 3rd fret of the 5th string in the 1st bar to the 3rd fret of the 6th string, creating an absolutely bog standard alternating bass. I'm going to do that throughout as long as I've got a few bars of C. And David Rawlings seems to be putting in some D in the middle range, like the open 4th string here on the 2nd and 4th bars. So something like this. As we move down to C with G in the bass, I'm just opening up, if you can hear that, opening up the 4th string to create C add 2 over G, if we want to be grand about it. That kind of a thing. I wanna go all over the world, start living free. Now we carry on with our G7. I know that there's too high for me, never mind. Somebody who... We've got 2 more bars of G7 now, but wait, that melody note there is, or should be if I'm singing in tune, a C. Ah, that's over the G7. So really what we want is to put a finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string to create a G7 sus4. That's fine. Waiting, and then back to G7 for the final bar before we get back to C. But if I'm playing G7 with a C played on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, that's actually going to clash with the note on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. B there and C there. So ideally I want to disguise or mask or just mute that 5th string, and I'm just going to tip my hand forward very slightly, you can probably hardly see that, just to mute that 5th string. I don't really have to do anything in the left hand, but just make it so that that note doesn't really sound, so that I can hit that C on the first fret of the second string, and then I can hear it clearly for the final bar of that G7. I know that there's somebody who is waiting for me. And then we have this climb up, so we begin the second part of the verse, which kicks off with another 4 bars of C. And that walk up or climb up is G on the 3rd fret of the bottom string, A is the open 5th string, B is on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. It's a standard country style walk up transitioning to a C. If we put chords at the top of it, the first 2 beats, I'm going to have the first and second finger of a C chord, so C over G, C over A, which is basically A minor 7, and then I've got my B, and I'm going to play as if I were playing my G7 chord, but I'm going to miss out the bottom string, just play the middle 4 strings. So if I go from the very end of that, waiting for me, and then we carry on. Now the next section, another 4 bars of C, 2 bars of C7, it does get a bit high for me here, never mind, and then to F minor, a little stroke of genius in the melody here. I'll build a boat, steady and true, as soon as it's done. Now, we've got F for a bar, so there's an F major rather than F minor. F major. I'm going to keep my bar there and swing my second finger down to the 2nd fret of the bottom string. My 3rd finger's on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And if I pick my bass note there and just strum the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings, if I'm accurate about that, I avoid the 5th and 1st strings for the F sharp diminished. That's kind of what you want to do. C over G to A7. Okay, now the great thing about this is we've got this little rising bass line. I'm gonna sail along in a dream. So F, F sharp, G, A, and we kind of want to bring that out. I'm gonna sail along in a dream. And we finish off with D7, G7, C for 2, the second of which we've got a little walk up again. Okay, the second verse is exactly the same as this, except of course at the end there's an extended coda to take us out. But the A7 that we've got then from the F, what happens in the melody? I'm gonna sail. Okay, then the lyrics are, hurry and take me straight into the arms. We get this note, which is a D sharp, into the arms, which is a sharp 11. It's very clever. How you're going to play that here? You could do that. I'm going to do this though. This is a proper jazz style chord. This is A7 sharp 11, and that's what I'm going to aim for. Apart from anything else, I'm not a great singer, and this really helps me to hit that note. Hurry and take me straight into the arms. There it is. Of my dear someone. Now we're into the coda, everything changes. At D7, I might be inclined to do this instead. It's a little more mellow. It's a C7, 2 frets higher, and I'm just playing the middle 4 strings of the guitar. So, hurry and take me straight into the arms of my dear son. And actually we don't go to C now, we go to A minor. This is the coda. 1 to C7, and we just repeat the last little bit. Hurry and take me into the the arms. This time we don't need the sharp 11, it's just a straight A7, arms, D7, G7, C, and we finish. That's all there is. The ending, she plays this kind of arpeggio in the bass, or at least she or David does. C, G, E, and you haven't got a C down there, so you're just going to come back. So the very ending, hurry and take me into the arms of my dear someone. One little detail that occurs to me before we have a playthrough is that going from the C to the A7, if you wanted to do that, instead of playing C over G to A7, you could just play chromatically down. Play the straight C, 3rd fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret, 1st fret, A7. Maybe do that on the last time in the coda. Hurry and take me into the arms of my dear someone. Alright, that's all I've got. Lovely song. Let's have a playthrough. 1, 2, 3. Somebody who is waiting for me. I'll build a boat steady and true. Soon as it's done, sail along in a dream of my dear someone. One little star smiling tonight knows where steady and bright to guide me afar. Rush, little wind, over the deep. Now I've begun. Take me straight into the arms of my dear someone. Hurry and take me straight into the arms of my dear someone. That's it.